Hello guys, and welcome back to Total War Rome 2 with a PvP battle here. This is the follow-up, the rematch to the previous battle I posted where Dr. Dave defended this very same city for me as Sparta while I besieged it as the Romans. Today, Dr. Dave will be attacking it as the Iceni, and I will be defending it as the Romans. Now, we can't see all of his units because he is the attacker and I am the defender, and he could have some placed in, like, the woods, but we can see a good amount of them. If we take a look, he has a kind of split offensive setup, kind of just all around this side, though. He went for the complete opposite side that I decided to besiege, which already made this interesting. In his siege towers, let's see, chosen swordband, chosen swordband, chosen swordband, yeah, chosen swordband. So basically just entirely some top-notch, very heavy melee infantry for the walls. Smart move since he's going up against Romans. He has a heavy galley here protecting some Druidic nobles. And over here, heroic and Druidic nobles, same thing in the galleys. Let's see, he's got 2 Briton Scorpions, I believe, yes. He has 2 sets of Briton Scorpions, which I remember him saying he didn't value them as much during this fight, but I don't like going up against siege equipment. They can be very deadly if used correctly. Back here we got 3 groups of Briton Slingers, so he has a fair amount of skirmishing power that he's brought to this fight. Otherwise, he has a chosen swordband, and his leader is a heroic noble. On this side, he has also sent 2 more chosen swordband and another heroic noble. His unit setup tends to be pretty similar every time. We're not seeing any cavalry here, but we're not looking at 20 units here. This is not 20 units, which means there's definitely units he has hidden in the time being. And he knows I'm real big on cav, so I'm sure he brought something to deal with him. If we take a look here, we have me playing as Rome. We got some floating barrels. Those are actually that's Snake. He's just hiding. But I have some legionnaires here ready to guard this. I went with a kind of minimalistic approach over here. It might not look minimalistic, but essentially I kept these Praetorian Guard, my big boys, my best units, my buffers back here to guard the capture point from anything. I didn't really expect him to come down here, and if he was, I could adjust well enough, easy enough. I have 2 auxiliary Syrian archers here, backing up 2 groups of legionnaires, basically planning to just pepper him down with the 1 siege tower here, because I didn't really expect him to go for the gate, and if he did go for the gate, well, I have units close enough that can get there anyway to support if needed. Over here, I have 2 cavalry, of course, kind of ready to march out and do some flanking maneuvers if I need to. I was not planning to charge out at the beginning like I tend to, though. And 1 legionnaire here to hold this gate in case he goes for it, just as an in case. Over here I have 2 legionnaires guarding this arrow tower, and some auxiliary Syrian archers backing them up. My general is bodyguards right here, just kind of here to buff and stuff. Now, I pretty much expect, when he was placing his units, I saw him go entirely for this wall section here. Taking a look at it, I found there's really only one way through and out of here, so I decided to, he did move stuff afterwards, but what I decided to do essentially was, I decided to make it so that, especially because after he left most of his siege equipment, siege artillery and things like that, facing here, that I would essentially, I'd fight him for the area, deal some casualties, give myself time to skirmish him down, expend some ammo. But essentially I'd give him the area, and then this would force him onto the walls where he'd be stuck there with nowhere to go except to be skirmished down by what remaining ammo that I might find myself having at that point in the battle. Or he'd be forced to come down from here, start chopping down these stakes, like his stakes weren't so necessary because mounted units wouldn't get over here. But I brought the stakes before knowing what he had. Barricades he'd have to chop down, and some sharp stone beds to get in his way. And this entire area, by the way, you can see, is littered with spike traps, meaning there's no way out for my legionnaires unless I climb the wall and run back along the wall myself. So these guys were sacrificial pawns. This area was meant to be a death, like, hellhole. I even got some Roman scorpions here with the sole intention of basically, like, literally firing, backed up by these Balearic slingers, which have a extra ammo compared to my Syrian archers, just for peppering down and destroying anything he gets trapped in this area. I basically tried to make a huge choke point. I have another group of legionnaires here just blocking the way, ready to fight anything in melee. And then over here I have 2 Triarii again, but in a square formation, both kind of guarding this, leaving basically as to hold this line and make another choke point should, for whatever reason, this side fall, or should he decide to go big for the walls instead of go for this area, and I would need to retreat and get out of there. That's what this is all set up for. That's my setup, that's his setup. Enough talking, we got a nearly 28-minute battle to go through here. Let's hit play and see how this goes. So initially he just starts looking over what he can see, and as you can see, it's not that much. He can see this ballista, and I'm not sure why. It says it's taking fire. I didn't understand this at the beginning of the battle. Oh, because it is taking fire. Oh my god. His ballistas are already opening fire on my ballistas. I was trying to figure this out, but I didn't have the time to zoom in and see. Already some losses to his ballistas from this ballista. I don't know how they even spotted this, yo. Tell me what unit they have that can see right here. I don't know. This was kind of annoying, though. And they showed that they were firing, too, but I don't see them firing. But already, you can feel the ground shaking as these ballistas are landing nearby. I didn't really know what to do about it at the start of the game here. He starts moving up his galleys before anything else. I don't know why. Maybe he's sending them forward to draw any archer fire, or maybe he was waiting. I assumed he was waiting for me to send out my initial cavalry charge like I tend to do. He was probably being very wary of that. Otherwise, we look here. Oh, this poor guy. Look at him. I feel bad. And that guy, too. Very sad. Otherwise, he's holding back his, okay, now he's starting to move his towers, but it took him a while to actually decide to move them. I think he kind of looked through the town and maybe even noticed all this. I forget if you could see this without line of sight. I believe you can. I think he noticed this and then started changing up his movements a little bit, because I know for a fact he was going to go all in here, but he started to kind of get all of his towers together, which is how I kind of figured he saw what I set up for him here. I don't know if you noticed the spike traps. Spike traps are really hard to notice unless you start zooming in or you get a good hover over them. This tower is also going in, and I'm just kind of sitting in wait. The Scorpion is now hidden. I don't know what changed, really. I know I set them off of auto fire. I don't know if having them on auto fire can make them visible even if they're not opening fire, but that's all I really ended up changing, and they stopped getting shot at. So that's odd. He's spun some of these around, which is kind of odd. He's still sending the... Yeah, he's still sending the galleys forward, and his units are not actually in the galleys. They're behind... What the fuck? Why are his units behind the galleys and not in them? Is that a bug? Here, too. What the fuck? And they're getting shot at. Why are they not in the galley? Is this a bug? This doesn't make any sense. Hello? Alright, well... Anyway, oh, he died. Oh, he died. Oh. Oh, look at them. Okay, well. He can now see all the units, not all the units, but 3 of the units that I have over here. But he's not sending much to, like, deal with this. He's starting to lose things to the fire arrows from the towers. Over here, he's not quite in range just yet to get shot at. So that's fine. He's taken all his towers away from here. So yeah, he definitely saw this and he decided not to go for this, at least not initially. He's sending everything over here instead for whatever reason. Now, if I was him, I'd maybe want to go more down here. Now, he does see one of my cavalry because I did march them out here to get them ready just in case. And I knew he would see them, and I was okay with that. The idea was to keep him on his toes so that he would move things together and not kind of section things off. So yeah, I just have him here ready and waiting and kind of like, hey, look at me, look at me. this Legionnaire is still chilling in wait. These guys are now, they should be in range of the fire towers, the fire arrows. They should be. Yes, I believe they are. This marks when they're in range. It's not a tower? No, I guess it's not. It's just a fort wall. Okay, he's in range of some of my ranged units, I believe, inside. Oh, here we go. He's sent these two off to go for here after all, even though he moved them away. Interesting choice. Over here, we already have some fighting. His chosen sword band have exited their tower and are now fighting my legionnaires. I believe his chosen sword band are definitely higher tier rank and just efficiency than my legionnaires. Because remember, last battle I had veteran legionnaires. These are just legionnaires. They're not as good. But that's fine. You don't get as much points to work with as the defender. It's going to be a brutal, bloody battle here. We've already lost more legionnaires than he's lost chosen sword bands. So yeah, his are definitely a step above mine. But we do have the arrow tower assisting. These druidic nobles are just kind of chilling out here. Just dying. Maybe they're just trying to take the fire, quite literally, off of the chosen sword band, but it's not very productive, personally. That's how I feel. His chosen sword band are landing on the walls, and I have not sent my units up just yet. I'm sending them up now to now just get in there and start fighting them. I let them land first. These guys are now heading up as well. Yep, here they go. I love the Roman formations. It's so uniform. It's so nice. They're heading up to protect the tower. These guys didn't have to protect the tower, so I didn't care as much to get them up there as quick. I wanted to let them spread out so I could now, as you can see, start opening fire with my Roman scorpions. Should be opening fire, I believe. And my Balearic slingers are also opening fire. But I believe they're about to, if they haven't already yet. They've shifted to opening fire on the chosen sword band that are landing right here instead. And here comes another group starting to face down my legionnaires on this side. And what else? And he's landed some more chosen sword band over here. And he's sent some heroic nobles right here to just kind of chillax. They're not under the thing for whatever reason. But we have some nice full fights on the walls now. What's happening here? Why are his units charging through mine? Hello? Pull through bug? And I've started my cavalry charge. I'm sure he was ready and waiting for this. We can see as this goes through here. There you go. We got our cavalry charge coming through in a wedge formation, heading for his formation over here. But what's that in the background? His own cavalry have come out of the woods, literally, and are charging into our cav, and here they have intercepted my cav here. Whoa, I just alt-tabbed. Whoops. These cavalry are, I've immediately sent them around this formation, holding them off with these guys, and charging them into these archers right here. They still managed to land with their charge bonus, took out already, look at that, 30 of them. Oh my god, 1/4 of the enemy formation, retreating these cavalry out and into the next archer group here. I think they're already out of their formation. Their charge didn't hit very well, but they're starting to get some kills here. These guys immediately retreating out of there as well after they've dealt their damage and just kind of trying to get away from his cavalry because he brought heroic riders. These are very elite, much more elite and expensive than my auxiliary cav. I cannot sustain a fight against them. He is maintaining a full fucking like arrowhead or wedge formation here to get the charge bonus. It's not going to help him in melee, but I'm basically retreating out of combat to keep charging down these guys who, as you can see, have already lost like 2/3 of their units and are routing from the battle. These guys are now holding them off. These guys are back in their wedge and going for the Briton slingers, which have been giving me hell over my defenses here. These guys are now getting charged down by the other ones, and they're pretty much as good as dead. His general is even getting in there to help. The fighting continues for the walls, but not much else. My Syrian archers over here are opening fire on his very spread out heroic nobles that are on the walls here. So I'm burning through ammo pretty quickly, but my plan of now just forcing him onto the walls and taking advantage of his openness is definitely, as you could see, It's going pretty well. The Britain slingers have been, well, the Britain scorpions have been completely destroyed here. These auxiliary cav are going back to these slingers, which are coming back into the fight to try to finish them off before they recoup. My one cavalry unit is routing, and these riders are coming to intercept me because they know what I'm doing. I very quickly decide to lead them back around this area, trying to lead them for a little loop-de-loop maneuver here. I didn't know if he'd fall for it. I didn't know if he would actually fall for it or not. Once I saw him coming this way, I was pretty sure he would fall for it, and I decided to start coming around. And my target, the final Britain Scorpion right here, right around now, he stops falling for it and starts trying to intercept me. And you can see it's really, really close. It's really, really close. And he does land. It does not stop the charge. And I'm able to actually retreat right out since he didn't manage to cut in front of me. I'm still charging through. Oh, they stopped. Yeah, they stopped because they're getting caught up. But because I'm still retreating out of battle, I can keep going for the Scorpions. And hit the Scorpions just like that. Got in there. They already lost 8 units in the charge. They don't stand a chance, but of course neither do my cavalry with all these heroic riders coming in. But it's safe to say this Britain Scorpion unit is dead. Yep, look at that. Wavering, casualties sustained. There's only 13 of them left. 12, and they're routing. I think we're safe to say that's probably the last we'll be seeing of these guys. He is now getting his Britain slingers up on the walls, that which has not been routed. Since he's been taking this and getting his skirmishers up here, I've decided to pull a retreat of my legionnaires who have taken some ranged fire from here. My slingers are still just firing like crazy up here. You can actually see the slings. Look at that. That's a great attention to detail. He has slingers up here already firing back down. Not a good angle for my slingers. My Scorpions have suffered some fair amount of losses, but I believe I have been expending their ammo quite well this entire time. My slingers are now backing up to get away from his skirmishing fire. I'm doing kind of a wave retreat here. First I got my legionnaires back to cover this, and then I got the slingers to go back. Now I'm retreating the Roman Scorpion group, so yeah, I definitely burned through all my ammo here already. And now that these guys are retreating, I'm bringing the legionnaires with them. But the Triarii are going to be staying here and just holding the line because their slingers won't be able to do much damage here. As you can see, my legionnaires holding this have fallen. They're pretty much all routing now. They're all giving up. On this side, it goes a lot better since they're choke pointed, and we do have the arrow tower assisting us. He is sending up reinforcements, and all in all, the battle isn't actually looking too good. Of course, we are outclassed here, but with the ranged fire, we are chipping away at him. And I do have more units waiting to join in the fight at any time. So overall, my plan is working. I was not anticipating him to bring such elite cavalry to counter mine, but I did manage to get all of his siege equipment out of the count, which is a huge amount of firepower that he has lost, thankfully. Whew. You see all the arrows keep flying in waves, dealing a lot of damage. Very good, but he keeps sending all his units up, even the guys that were in here. I think they've all just been sent up. Yeah, it seems to be that way. Otherwise, these guys have retreated already, which they might have. I've sent the Roman Scorpion group down here. They're going to serve as essentially fodder. Momentarily, I am going to end up sending them to assist my legionnaires. I've sent another group of legionnaires up already behind this one, and some of them are firing their javelins across the wall into the chosen sword band over here, as it is their pylon. These are going to be sacrificial goats. I've started making these archers hold their fire, and I'm retreating these ones to this side. Not retreating, but moving, because I realize I'm going to need more range power over here as these units are getting tattered and exhausted. I sent more legionnaires to assist, but because he's just throwing all of his units just literally piled up on the walls over here, and I'm burning through my ammo super quickly because he's giving me the opportunity to continuously shoot into his sides, I'm actually starting to run out of it. At some point in the battle, I believe I've already done it, I start relying on pylon just for taking down his units on the walls, but getting the angles to pile him up onto walls is retardedly difficult. As you can see, these slingers over here are starting to waver, soon to rout, even with a morale buff. They're being rallied by the general, who's right here. Right here, his general's on the wall now, providing cover, and actually he's right here. Yeah, this is him. But he's dismounted all of his heroic riders and started sending them up onto the walls. That's what this is. And he's just I keep wanting to say gangbang, but he's just he's piled all his units up here. And I'm just getting all these free shots into this side. I never understand when people do this clogged toilet kind of strategy. It doesn't work. It does not work. It just gets your units killed. But it makes some very funny rubber banding issues in this game, let me tell you. But his slingers here have routed under the fire of my slingers, these are my archers firing over here. Yeah, look at all these easy shots. Where are my slingers? Oh, they're retreating. They might be out of ammo. That might have been their last volley, the slingers. And these archers, well, they have their bows, but I think they're also out of ammo. Even though it shows that they have some. These guys, I know for a fact, are running low. Running low on ammo for sure. I keep trying to only use one at a time because the idea was to keep a constant stream of arrows rather than expend them all at once. But even then, I wish I had brought more slingers because the slingers have far more ammo than my archers. It's really a shame that in this game, when you're defending, there's no place to send your ranged units to, pick up more ammo. Like, hey, no one thought of stockpiling arrows? We only have enough to fill the quivers? And here I am sending the legionnaires that were guarding this gate over here to kind of, well, defend the area now that all these other units are on the walls. Any units he had over here, he has now sent over here. We have a dog pile of 4 different units. Here, we're in time to see it. I'm sending the Roman Scorpion crew up onto the walls, sacrificial pawn, to just kind of bolster my defenses up here and assist. They're charging right into the brink of it, and these legionnaires have entered melee as well. So I've kind of dog-piled up on his dog pile here, and just holding him off as my first legionnaire group is faltering. But his first chosen sword band is also faltering, and he's taking constant arrow fire. The fire arrow is definitely very good, and the angle is perfect. They just get to shoot literally at the fucking skulls of the enemies. I think this is him giving a charge order, because he's charging through my units and just getting into the middle of them. Game's very buggy when you give charge orders when you're already in combat. It's kind of weird. But yes, here's the first Legionnaire group routing, unfortunately. This group still has some ammo, but I'm trying not to expend it yet. I haven't had to move my Praetorian Guard. General's still chilling out. The Legionnaires that were over here are now guarding him, along with all the archers and stuff that have expended their ammo. I'm now finally moving my general up to this wall. Now that the numbers are really just stacking themselves against each other and the first unit has routed, I'm moving this unit over here to give my guys a melee, like some stat buffs and some morale buffs as well. I'm starting to send these legionnaires up onto the walls already to just kind of bolster my numbers up here. It looks like these guys are out of ammo because they've stopped firing and they don't have their bows out. So I'm going to say they're out of ammo. He has completely avoided this area, but I don't know if his current strategy was a lot better than what he would have gone through going through here. Some of my retreating units from the walls did set off some of the spike traps, and I didn't really account for that. That was a mistake on my part. And when I saw that, I kind of wished that I did not put the units here, but instead maybe set them up around here in advance maybe, but too little too late. I didn't think of it. These legionnaires are lining up on the walls ready to assist. And now we're entering like a slow part of the battle here, where we're just going to have, because he has 6 units gathered here. This is over a fourth of his army. Throw in the fact that his general's down here, 7 units. This is about a third of his army. It's just stacked on this wall, not spread out anywhere, not trying to push anywhere else. He never tried to burn down this gate. He never tried to go for this gate. He never tried to actually maybe try to go through here, you know? Maybe send some of the units that were out of ammo through to activate the spike traps, and then send the good units through to tear all this down, especially now that I've stopped defending it, and then try to get through the Triarii. He never tried to do anything else. He's just stacked all of his units. He's not even getting his general up on the wall. And over here we got 1, 2, 3 units still. It used to be like 5. I actually, yeah. So the Roman Scorpions are of course dying. Yeah, they're routing now. But these Legionnaires are still keeping up the good fight. His next chosen swordband group is routing. And I've decided now that he's moved back far enough to send a fresh Praetorian Guard, my most elite infantry, fresh, having not seen any combat, out of the gate and around to his own tower to climb up it and jump into the rear of his chosen swordband, very tired from fighting, mind you, and just get up in him. And then use the whip. Boost. That's an ability they have, by the way, to use the whip. Ooh, it's blinking. Oh, wait, what? That's not what I wanted. To use the whip and boost their stats. I got some of my guys are trying to throw their pylum up onto the wall. Terrible angle, by the way. This is about when I started realizing that I could be using my pylum for this purpose. Yeah. This is about when I realized that and started trying to find ways to do that. I moved my general back as he started taking fire because the general up here actually has javelins. And he's, I think he can, yeah, he was trying to hurt my general with them. I've now sent some of the Syrian archers up here. Oh, I guess these guys did run out of ammo, because I've sent them up here to join in the melee fight alongside my Legionnaires. I've gotten the other Praetorian Guard over here, protecting the area. Over here, my Praetorian Guard have started jumping into the rear of his units here. Look at the beautiful Praetorian Guard. Oh, just giving it to the savages. Look at this. Look at the walls. It's just covered in savage bodies. Oh, you saw he just bitch smacked someone with his shield. Wow, that's crazy. That's a big shield. Oh, I think this unit is routing. This unit is routing, and they're routing through my units. And now this unit's starting to rout. The Praetorian Guard hitting him in the rear just completely broke their morale. And that's it. They just both routed and gave up the fight. Just like that. And now it all comes down to this. All his units are now stacked on this wall, trying their best to get to this gate so they can get down here and bring the fight into the city. Not one of his units has actually managed to get into the city. Not even over here where I let him in. They've all been confined to the walls or outside the walls this entire time. Now let's take a look at how the fight's going here. My Legionnaires are holding out. His generals are just kind of holding. This was me positioning my units to get the pylum in a place where they can throw it. Really not the most optimal location to do this, but it was the only location I could get, really. So I was just trying to get any ammo I could because I was completely out of ranged ammo. And most of the pylum are going to waste, but some of them are hitting their mark. And it's more than I can ask for at this point. Yeah. This is just the constant fighting. Now, you know, it's funny, if this was Total War Warhammer, all these units would have been dead 2 minutes into the fight, is how fast-paced those battles are. Have I mentioned I really hate Total War Warhammer? I really hate it. I hate the siege system, and I hate how fast the battles are. I think my pylums have run dry. Yeah, my pylum ran dry. I know, because I took these Legionnaires off the wall to set them up for this purpose instead, while taking these Legionnaires that just fired, these are the ones that were over here, and sending them onto the wall instead. His units are trying to fire into mine now, it looks like, yeah, which is wise. Especially because he has a better angle. He's now sending these units back, and I'll tell you why. Because I've started sending my units that were over here down the wall. And this is one of the Legionnaires that were up there, and the Praetorian Guard I sent into flank. They're going to be very tired by the time they get there, but splitting their forces and hitting them in the flank is exactly what I need to do to finally break this offensive that I have surrounded, so we're not just grinding away at it here for the next 30 minutes. These guys are under fire, but they do have a chance now to fire off their own pylum. Yeah, I took the archers down from the wall and just set them up with a Praetorian Guard. We're just defending the point just in case he has something hidden that I'm not aware of. I have the slinger still over here guarding the general. My other unit of Praetorian Guard that has not seen action yet is coming up to here to just kind of defend the area and provide some melee buffs since I had to pull my general back. I'm capturing the tower that he captured over here with my legionnaires, but I'm going to continue sending the Praetorian Guard through. He is, I don't know why he sent these units back, but one of his chosen sword band are about to completely break. His general is still just holding out. Here they are. Here's the heroic nobles that he sent. He sent them back here preemptively to get ready for this charge. The downside of this is how tiring it is for my units, but hey man, price has to be paid, right? Plus, they're Praetorian Guard. It's fine. I'll just give him the whip. Let's see him be tired once I give him the whip. But the senseless fighting is just continuing over here. Well, we're soon about to see the Praetorian Guard reach there. I gave them updated orders. I didn't send them the full way initially, but I just gave them updated orders. Now they're kind of moving themselves into a different formation. I don't know why they started walking. I noticed that and got them running again. The formations on the walls are really weird because the wall is not treated like ground. It's treated like being on a siege tower. Yeah, they just did a fucking loop-de-loop. The legionnaires are coming up to assist. They're extra tired, but they'll be heading up the back of the formations to support the Praetorian Guard. I guess these guys have expended their pylon where they just don't want to fire, which is unfortunate. I hope they're enjoying the shade of the tree, though. And here we go. He's sending his general to meet my Praetorian Guard. And, oh, some pylon off at point-blank range here. As my very tired Praetorian Guard, who have just run all the way across the walls, have now flanked the enemy positions and forced his general into melee combat. No longer capable of supporting his units back here. And my legionnaires are about to come up the rear here, run in, and start supporting my Praetorian Guard in their push. Also exhausted by this point, but it should be enough to exhaust and tear away at his general. Okay, here they are. They kind of come into the rear and then just stopped on the stairs. So have the Praetorian Guard, actually. They're sliding down the stairs, too. Rather than, you know, getting up here. Let's zoom out. I've moved my general back up as well now that his general's distracted, and I'm just providing all kinds of buffs. Now that the general's not protecting them, they're being attacked in the rear, and they've just suffered so many losses. You see all of his units are starting to rout. 2 of them are gone. Another one is wavering. Another one's wavering, routing. 1 more left to rout over here. My units are charging in and rubber banding all over the place. I don't know what the fuck is happening. Only 1 left to start routing. Oh boy. And it's routing. Everything over here on his side is now routing. It's just down to his general, which is fighting 2 of my units over here. And the moment this routs, the battle should basically be over. Let's see how this goes. My units are going to start charging down the wall now. And kind of getting into this. And hopefully forcing a rout here. Yep, here we go. Charging down into the flanks of the general. And there you go. There's the charge. And the moment the charge lands, his general gives up. End replay. That was a good battle. Let's take a look at the stats here. Wow, the kills and the losses are very different. Yeah, these scorpions were giving me some trouble in the beginning, but I managed to snipe them out. My scorpion got a decent amount of kills, maybe not as much as I would have wanted, but they did all right. My cavalry definitely did what I wanted them to do. Look at the amount of kills they got. They could have done better if I didn't get caught by his cav, but they did an amazing job. They got more than a 1 KDR and of really good units. Forced an entire enemy skirmishing unit to rout. Killed half of another one at least. Got 2 Briton Scorpion units and damaged his own heroic riders a little bit. My Syrian archers, as you see, did amazing, and the slingers as well. My skirmishers got such a nice time. The Triarii never actually saw combat, but they kept his units on the walls, preventing even a single Iceni soldier from managing to fight inside the city. As you can see, my Praetorian Guard, even the exhausted one, really didn't lose anything. My Legionnaires getting so many kills. This is the one that did the worst, and I'm sure this was just one on the walls in the front. And probably this one as well, because it's the only one that actually lost everything. General never saw any combat. He did lose like a single unit, but that's all. On his side, some of his heroic nobles did very well. This heroic rider in particular. So it seems really the best his units did were his cavalry intercepting my cav charge, though not to any effective degree. Aside from stopping me from getting all of his skirmishers, that was probably his biggest win. But his skirmishers never managed to really get any kills. As you can see, the Scorpions got more than all his skirmishers combined, which is why I definitely wanted to knock him out. Though for some reason, I remember him saying that his Scorpions were useless. But for the little time he had them, they got more kills than all of his skirmishers combined. So I'm not sure what that mentality was about. I think people can underestimate the value of things like Ballista. But yeah, that's this battle. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to join us in any Total War PvP battles, make sure to join the community server in the description. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.